What's up, everyone? Look, I've been sitting back patiently and watching and listening and reading to what a lot of people have said, what they've had to say, and the actions up until now. But now that things have moved through the House, it's time to really start taking things a little more seriously on my end here in my state. I noticed there is already a lot of chatter online and already a lot of chatter on YouTube as usual, and across all of our groups about, you guessed it, the 2022 Lacey Act. Now, one thing I haven't heard is much of any talk about this here in Oklahoma. What people in Oklahoma, what you guys don't understand is that in that Lacey Act, it is stating that only dogs, cats, and livestock are going to be allowed. Everything else will be on the white list or the ban list, and that you can, or that they can, without due process and as they please, add and take away animals from that list. And there is no law that says that they have to wait. Also, the bad part about this is that there's no type of court or anything that we can stand up and really give our opinions about this. So the only option we have to do is to contact our state senators. Senator Langford, Senator Inhofe. Those are the two Oklahoma senators that we have here. Listen, call these people. If you want to keep animals, if you want to keep reptiles, guys, if you're local to me and you enjoy coming to our store, even though we are a brand new business, if you enjoy red dirt reptiles, pets, and exotics, you need to get a hold of your senator and tell them that you implore them to say no to the Lacey Act and the America Competes Act. Now, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't looked into America Competes Act too bad or too much. I've really just dove into the Lacey Act because it pertains to my industry. It pertains to what we here love the most, which are our reptiles and our exotic animals. And listen, again, they are deeming anything other than a cat, dog, or livestock an exotic animal. We are in trouble, guys. Our entire industry is about to come crashing down. Now, a while back, the Lacey Act passed through, and USARC jumped in, and the Supreme Court upturned it and overruled it and reversed it, which is why we are able to sell big snakes, such like that, in animals across state lines, and import them in from other countries. But, guys, this is about to change all of that. If you have animals in Oklahoma and want to sell them to somebody in Texas, you cannot, because it is going to be illegal to travel across state lines, and if you do, you could be getting into a lot of trouble. Now, again, does this affect the everyday Joe who just has a bunch of things in their private collection? Maybe not. Maybe not unless you're looking for something specific that you just know is not going to be housed in your state. But if you're like me, who like to work with animals that are outside of my state, like myself, who I specialize in Asian water monitors, and a lot of these animals that I purchase before I breed them come from outside of this state, from some of my good friends in New York, California, Pennsylvania, Florida. All of my really good friends that deal in these animals live outside of my state. So while I'm working to pioneer the monitor industry here, I lean to these guys for a lot of advice, help, and quality, healthy animals, and I won't be able to do that if this passes. On top of that, here at Red Dirt Reptiles, we offer a full, interactive, educational-based visit and experience. You don't have to come in here and buy anything. You don't have to come in here and pay, excuse me again. You don't have to come in here and pay anything to interact with our animals or get the education. But how am I supposed to give you that interaction and education if these animals are going to be getting banned where I can't continue to get these animals in? You know, again, for the average everyday Joe, this probably isn't too terrible. And, you know, go you if you're a cat and dog person. I'm sorry that most of you that think that these animals are insane just were never properly introduced to these guys in the first place to see just how loving these animals can be. And I'm meaning all animals, from dogs and cats, but obviously into my realm of things, from the reptiles to birds, because we do large birds, to our super exotics, such as like our foxes and bobcats and our ring-tailed lemurs and primates and such like that. Most people don't really stop to think about the fact that the only reason we know that the information that we do about these animals today is, partly and honestly, probably mostly, I would say at least 60 to 40 or 65-35, with captive-based studying being the majority of that. We know so much about these animals because of how we've been able to study them in the wild, yes, but we really have been able to dive in deep with what we know about these animals due to in-house captive breeding, captive raising, captive studying. And listen, I get it. There's a lot of people out there that don't deserve to have these animals. There's a lot of people out there that make mistakes and set these animals out, or they fall into the wrong hands and end up in situations that are less likely to be viewed as good by the outward public. All I'm getting at is that just because somebody makes a mistake doesn't mean that everybody should be punished. It would be just as like, as a human, if I reach out and tap somebody on the arm, if that made you feel like you had the right to tap the next person, and the next person, and the next person. It's an ongoing punishment that should never be dealt with in this manner. We are, as a society, going to be punished for the problems of a few. Man, I really don't want to see that happen. Not only am I worried about my business going down that we just built, we have a solid platform. Again, if you don't know who we are, Red Dirt Reptiles, Pets and Exotics in Glenpool, Oklahoma, 13809 South Casper Street, Suite G in Glenpool. And if you do know who we are and you like us like everybody says, and thank you for the reviews, you've all blasted us as being as amazing. Listen, if you like our environment, stand up with us. Stand up and fight against the Lacey Act and say no to the Lacey Act with us, and do a little more than just share this on Facebook. It's not enough to share this on Facebook. If you and me just share this on Facebook, then the senators and the people who make these decisions actually never really get to see how serious we really are about it. Get on, send an email to your nearest senator, give them a call, be respectful about it. There's no reason to be rude. A lot of these people don't even know what's going on or what's in the Lacey Act. They just know that they're dealing with somebody who feels offended or implored to say something about it, which we are. And we implore you to stand up for us. Help you, Sark, and the rest of us here in this reptile community, this exotic community, this animal-based community. Help the rest of us stand up and save what we all love as a passion. We'll see you on the next one.